Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping. And the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, beneath the hue of a street lamp. I turned my collar to the cold and damp, and my eyes were stabbed by the neon light. I slipped the knife and touched the sounds of silence, and in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs that voices never shared. No one dared disturb the sound of silence. Fool, said I, you do not know. Silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I might reach you. Take my arms that I might reach you. But my words, like silent raindrops, fell and echoed in the well of silence. And the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made. And the sign flashed out its warning in the words that it was for me. The sign said the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls, tenement halls, that whisper in a sound of silence.
Cecilia, you're breaking my heart. Homeward bound, will I wish you? Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. In the clearing stands a boxer and a fighter by his trays. To you, Mrs. Robinson.
The Simon and Garfunkel Story, March 7th at 7:30. Get tickets at BroadwayTheaterLeague.org.
The Deep Comics and Games has the largest selection of comics, board games, toys, and collectibles in North Alabama, with thousands of comics arriving weekly. Choose from the classics by DC and Marvel to the newest generation of heroes. Offering comics in every genre, The Deep has a comic for everyone. Selling your collection, The Deep is always buying and will give you the most cash for your stash. The Deep Comics and Games, 2310 South Memorial Parkway, just south of Office Depot.
Welcome back to the most exciting start that Show and Tell has ever had in our 3 seasons.
Absolutely, that was cool. That was cool.
So, for those of you in the Tennessee Valley that don't know, this is Dave Anderson and Kip Driver from our office. And I'm Will. As always, you're tired of seeing me, though.
Never.
So, that was awesome. That was just amazing.
Thank you. I usually do that with my buddy Tim. He didn't make it today.
He was going to make it,
and
though.
I usually follow him, and I realized I was having to sing some higher parts than usual, so I kind of took some liberties with the melody.
Okay. I didn't notice.
Okay.
Oh.
Plus, you have to remember, it's 6 a.m. I imagine it's hard to wake up and
Yes.
start singing immediately.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Voices don't like 6 a.m.
No, they
No,
don't.
never. They barely like 6 p.m.
Right. Yeah.
I think so.
So it's interesting. Before the cameras came on, you were saying you can't imagine being here with you two being on TV together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why is
we
that?
go way back.
Over 40 years.
Yeah.
We've known each other. So
I didn't think either one of you
yeah.
were 40 years old.
Exactly. Isn't
You
that
made the
weird?
Christmas card list.
Yes, but we haven't actually seen each other in a long time.
At least 20 years.
Yeah, and here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
very cool.
Awesome. Yay,
great.
Dave.
So we have him here because I don't know a lot about Simon and Garfunkel. I know a little bit because I've seen the show once. And you know all things rock, don't you?
A little bit.
A little
yes.
bit?
Not quite the encyclopedia, but
He's modest, I think.
So
notes maybe.
how did you pick Sound of Silence to sing? Just because
Well,
it's my favorite song?
That's just something, yes, exactly. Nice save. My buddy Tim and I have always sung that. Like if I show up at one of his gigs or he's at one of my gigs, we'll do that song. And so we've kind of gone through the whole Simon Garfunkel fan thing because he got me tickets to see them probably about 20 years ago, and it was incredible. It was like going to church. And the Everly Brothers were the guest, which they didn't open the show, and I was kind of confused. I was like, what about the other Everly Brothers? And that when they were Tom and Jerry, when they first got started, the Everly Brothers was their favorite thing, their big influence. And so then halfway through the show, they came out and did some of their hits. And then Simon Garfunkel joined them, and the four of them sang some more Everly Brothers songs. It was incredible.
Oh, wow. That actually sounds amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah,
Right.
really good.
So can you give us just a little bit of the history of Simon and Garfunkel?
Well, they grew up together, I think, in Queens, and they wanted to be the Everly Brothers, so they started singing and playing around, churches and school functions, and I think they had a success as Tom and Jerry. They had a single like in the late '50s, and then kind of went underground for a while. Then their big break was they were on the Graduate soundtrack. They had several
Right.
songs, and back then they didn't really have soundtracks. Were not as big of a thing for movies as they are now. But it was just the whole movie exploded, the soundtrack exploded, and that's kind of when they got their really big.
I've never until just now put together the Mrs. Robinson song to The Graduate.
Yep.
Right? And Mike Nichols is the director, and I know he was a huge fan. So
Oh, yeah?
I think that they were, particularly Simon was very hesitant about it, but he convinced them. And I
Right.
mean, my gosh, it's like movie gold, music gold.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite Simon and Garfunkel song?
Probably America. Tim and I were going to work that up, and I was trying to work it up, but I didn't feel really confident in doing it by myself, which I told Kit that was likely to happen. Sorry, Tim.
Tim, what happened, dude?
It's funny. I can't imagine watching you do Sound of Silence. I can't imagine you not being confident to do America.
Well, it's a very involved song, and Garfunkel. That's one of his really, to me, shining moments. Bridge Over Troubled Water is the one he's most known for, but it's just those vocals, and it's such a beautiful song. The imagery, the lyrics. In fact, when I saw them in concert, the band did an overture instrumental, and they played a snippet of that song. I was like, man, they're not going to play that, but they did play it.
Good, perfect.
Yeah, it was
yes,
really
good.
So what goes into writing one of those songs of that caliber?
Being Paul Simon.
Graceland.
In fact, there's, and I'm sure the movie, the play is going to reflect on a lot of this, but they had a very tumultuous relationship, and
Kind of like me and Kip.
Hey, I thought we were doing pretty
kidding,
good.
even on stage, I don't even think it was shtick. Like Garfunkel said, I'm really fortunate to sing all these great songs that Paul's written, and he says, yes, Art, you are very fortunate to sing my songs.
I read that. I was
Yeah,
like,
so-
ouch.
There's
Yes.
a lot of weird vibes between them, and but a lot of the greatest music is made with that kind of conflict. But
Good point.
yeah, Paul Simon's songwriting is just he's like a Beatle. He's just one of those people that can't write a bad song.
So we're going to cut to a break, and then we're going to come back and find out all about your career, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 segments. Yes.
We'll see you guys in just a few minutes.
Jesus Christ Superstar, the legendary rock album, reimagined for a new generation, live on stage. The iconic musical phenomenon, Jesus Christ Superstar.
Get tickets at BroadwayTheaterLeague.org.
Make your game room the place to be during the winter game room sale at Billiards, Barstools, and Patio. See a great selection and save on pool tables, shuffleboards, arcade machines, golden tee, skee ball, and much more. Many items are in stock and ready for delivery. Save more on floor model pool tables and shuffleboards. Home theater seats and patio furniture are also available. Make your game room the place during the winter game room sale. Billiards, Barstools, and Patio, Huntsville.
Buying or selling your home, why not trust a legend? Huntsville native Karen Farrell can make the process fun, exciting, and easy. Enjoy the biggest investment of your life. Call a legend, Karen Farrell of Legend Realty, 468-4626, or find her on Facebook.
Cecilia, you're breaking my heart. Homeward bound.
The Simon and Garfunkel Story, March 7th at 7:30. Get tickets at BroadwayTheaterLeague.org.
Will is ready. We'll go in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Show and Tell with BTL, the Rockstar Edition.
Yeah.
Mock star.
Freebird.
So I'm Will, and you know Kip, and this is Dave Anderson. And you've had quite the prolific music career for someone from the Tennessee Valley.
I guess so. Yeah.
I guess so.
I've been fortunate to not have a real job this whole time.
Yeah.
So there's that. But,
Goals.
So just tell us a little bit how you got into music.
Something I wanted to do since I was a toddler. My dad used to play drums, and he'd crank up the stereo, play drums, and I just was mesmerized by the whole music thing. He let me behind the drums when I was 4, and but I always wanted to play guitar. So I had toy guitars from being a toddler, and I guess in 3rd grade I got a used classical guitar and started taking lessons.
Okay.
I wasn't a good student, but.
Okay. Yeah. And tell us, you've been very successful. I know you're kind of modest about it, but just tell everybody a little bit about your journey.
Well, success, I mean, I haven't gotten rich and famous, but I mean, I've been in the game. I just haven't really won it. I mean, the band I was in, Brother Kane, we toured, put out albums on major labels, and toured with a lot of great bands.
Not to be offensive, but I remember watching you on MTV when I was a teenager.
Now, I think they got some videos from the first album on MTV, but by the time I joined for the 2nd and 3rd album, I don't think I made it to MTV.
We're going to pretend.
We did TV shows, but like Conan O'Brien and with BB and CC Winans was my first national thing, and we did like the Tonight Show and Arsenio Hall, so did that kind of TV stuff, but never MTV. I had some songs on some MTV shows, like for the soundtrack, but my face never made it there. So
okay,
what it is.
So what has it been like for you to be a national touring musician?
I loved it. I mean, I guess I still do it, but I don't consider it touring because I go on the weekends with Atlanta Rhythm Section. So I don't get in a bus and just go.
Right.
But I really enjoyed that when I was younger.
It's good for the young.
Yes.
It's harder now.
I did a bus trip because I used to play with the Black Jacket Symphony, and I filled in with them for one show this past fall, and I got on the bus, which was the temple. The bus was everything when I was in my 20s and 30s, but now it stinks, it's dirty, it's cramped.
Right.
It's like, okay, I'll leave the memories of that, what they were.
But it probably smells the same. It was this amazing smell when you were in your 20s,
definitely
30s, and now
it
it
was like band
stinks.
trips. The diesel, I always thought of band trips, and you know, the bathroom stinks up the whole.
Yeah.
You know.
And circus
TMI.
peanuts, they were so good on band trips, and now they're gross. They're disgusting.
Exactly. It's all about perspective.
It is.
Growing up.
Yes.
I almost feel like you're about to pop into this one time at band camp.
Yes.
Because you guys actually were in the Grissom band together, right?
Yeah, we were.
What did you play?
Drums.
And you?
I played tenor saxophone. Yeah.
First chair, I've heard.
I was first chair. I was first chair. I worked hard for that first chair.
Yeah.
And we were like I mean, we were really good. Not to be.
Oh yeah,
You know,
it was a serious band
we were
program.
competitive.
Yeah.
You know, and I think back on those days and just, you know, we were lucky just to have that feeling at such a young age.
Yeah, it's learning teamwork, common goals. It's great.
Yeah.
Great experience.
Yeah.
So, what advice do you have for kids that are watching this that want to really follow their dreams in the music industry?
It's so different now. In some ways, it's better. There are more opportunities because it's not just the major labels to tell you no. There's nobody to say no, but there's so many people out there that the labels kind of did a service by vetting out music for people to choose. But now it's so they don't know where to start almost. But I do know that the kids coming up now are so much better than we were. I mean, they just are. They have YouTube. They have a lot of resources, and plus the fact that there are outlets like YouTube, it's easier for them to get noticed and to see peers from across the country. Because back when we were growing up in the band, we didn't know anything about anything going on anywhere else.
No.
So it's an exciting time, I think. And as far as advice, the advice I've always given is play with people better than you at every chance. Because
That's why you're on this TV show, because you're better than us.
That's why we booked you.
You are improving our game.
Yes. Subscribe.
We're going to cut to a short break and bring you back for our final segment.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about musical influences and playlists.
Okay.
Pretty Woman, May 10th through 12th. Get tickets at BroadwayTheaterLeague.org.
The Deep Comics and Games has the largest selection of comics, board games, and toys in North Alabama. All your favorite games such as Ticket to Ride, Munchkin, and Catan. Trading card games such as Magic, The Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon. Miniature games, Warhammer, Star Wars, Flames of War, and all the supplies you need to get them ready for play. Selling your collection, The Deep is always buying and will give you the most cash for your stash. The Deep Comics and Games, 2310 South Memorial Parkway, just south of Office Depot.
Cecilia, you're breaking my heart. Homeward bound, will I wish hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. In the clearing stands a boxer and a fighter by his trays. To you, Mrs. Robinson.
The Simon and Garfunkel Story, March 7th at 7:30. Get tickets at BroadwayTheaterLeague.org.
From the big screen to the Broadway stage, Pretty Woman the Musical.
Pretty Woman, May 10th through 12th. Get tickets at BroadwayTheaterLeague.org.
Welcome back to the most unique version of Show and Tell we've had in our 3 seasons of having it. I'm still Will.
I'm still Kip.
Dave?
And before we left, I said we're going to talk about musical influences. Who are some of your musical influences?
Okay, the Beatles, and the Beatles.
Oh, okay.
What's your favorite Beatles song?
What day is it? It depends on the day. Probably Eleanor Rigby today.
Very good choice. Very good choice. Besides the Beatles.
Okay. I grew up on, like I said, my dad played drums, and he would crank the records and play a lot of CCR, Elvis, and so I listened to all that stuff, and it was just in general, just the experience of hearing the loud drums and his buddies that would come over and play guitar. Nice. That was really the biggest influence, was my dad, and I guess the radio. Back then we didn't have MTV, we just had the radio, and we didn't have iTunes or Spotify, so we had to either listen to the radio and press record, go buy records. So yeah, that was pretty.
We would call the radio station, request songs, and wait for them to play so you could press
exactly.
record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what was your first concert?
Elvis.
In Huntsville?
Yeah.
Okay. At the
75.
opening up the VVCC at the time.
Yep. And
Even though he was not the first concert there.
no, I can't remember who the first concert was.
It was Johnny Cash.
That's right.
Well, you got to ask me what my first concert
That's
was.
where I was. That's where I was going next.
My first concert was Journey in Murfreesboro, and I went with this
That's
guy. I was in 8th grade, so my older sister Kesha was good friends with Dave, and they were like,
"Oh, is her name Kesha or is it Ke $?
No,
her?
no dollar sign.
Okay.
Yeah, Kesha. Hi, Kesha. And so all the cool kids in high school were going, and my sister was nice enough to say, "Do you want to come with us?" And I was like, so I did. And this guy was so nice to me. I was in 8th grade.
You were cool though.
First concert. Thank you.
That was a fun trip.
It was a fun
Paul
trip.
Dumbacher, Ellen.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people that may actually be watching this.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. But it was like the high point of my life, and the concert was like, yes.
Great show.
Yeah, and I screamed so loud the whole time, so I would lose my voice. So I'd go to school the next day, and I wouldn't be able to talk, and everybody would be like, "Why can't you talk?" Well, let me tell you. All right, enough.
I don't remember what my first concert was.
Really?
I don't. I know Kiss was very early on, and Ted Nugent was very early on, but I don't remember.
All right.
What's your favorite concert you've been to?
Paul McCartney.
At Bonnaroo?
No.
Oh.
I saw him 3 times. I saw him in Lexington, Kentucky in '89. Then I saw him at Piedmont Park in Atlanta in 2008. And just 2 years ago, my wife and I went to see him in Knoxville.
Okay.
The Piedmont Park was the best one, though. It was pouring rain, and nobody cared
Nice.
because we were just happy to be there.
He is an amazing concert.
He is, and it's funny because I was a big U2 fan. I kind of still am, but I saw them in Atlanta probably a month later, and McCartney was up there for 3-4 hours, probably at least 3 hours,
Wow.
and the pace never let up. And when I saw U2, who were a lot younger than him, even for some of their big songs, they'd kind of take a breather and kind of mark time through it, and then I thought, wow.
Interesting.
It was. I just lost a little bit of respect for them temporarily because I saw the master do it, and as great as they are, it's like I didn't feel like they gave it their all in comparison. But it's hard to top Paul McCartney.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
What was your favorite concert you've been to?
I think Cyndi Lauper, and this was like prime Cyndi Lauper, 1986, if I had to guess, and she was just incredible, and I was like standing like right in front of the stage, and the sound went out, and for a while, and so she like came to the edge of the stage, and she just sat down, and she projected, and she told us jokes, and just talked to us, and that made it so much more amazing than if the sound had not gone out. So yeah, I'll always remember that.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So I worked at Bonnaroo for many years, so I saw lots
All right.
and lots of bands. But my very favorite was Davy Jones from the Monkees.
Oh, I've heard he puts on a great.
I saw
he
him
put on a great show.
in a little small town auditorium, and he told jokes. He walked around and sat down at your table with you, would sing directly to people.
Wow.
It was just fantastic. And I can still see him singing, "I Ain't Your Stepping Stone," in my mind. This is clear as day.
Wow.
Neat.
So
That's cool.
What's on your playlist right now?
Beatles. I listen to a decent amount of new music because my daughter kind of gets me, points the right direction. And I can't remember any of them now because it's a senior moment. But Tame Impala.
People under 40 can't have senior moments.
Yeah.
We forgot. Oh wait, that is a senior moment. We forgot.
A senior moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
New stuff like Tame Impala, Mitski, and it's cool because she listens to all the old stuff too, and she's actually turned me on to some stuff that I never really listened to that was for my generation, and like I always liked Joni Mitchell, but I didn't go down the rabbit hole, and she's kind of pointed me, so it's cool. I think, like I said before, kids and music, they know what's going on.
Kip, what's on your playlist?
I don't know if I want to reveal this information.
That you can say on television what's on your playlist.
Well, I will say, I've always loved Joni Mitchell, and I've been listening to her a lot lately because she's been so present with Brandi Carlile, bringing her back to us and everything. So that's cool. But I never listened to Taylor Swift before, but now I'm listening to her a lot. So I think I'm a Swiftie. I mean,
She's great.
Yeah, she's great. I always just thought, oh, I don't know her music. My niece loves her. I just like her now, and so it made me want to take a look at her music. And yeah, I'm kind of a Swiftie.
Were you happy Kansas City won the Super Bowl?
I can't answer that because Lisa will never speak to me.
You would not.
No. Go Bills.
I'm writing a novel right now, so I'm taking Stephen King's advice. And he wrote one of his books, Listening to Nothing But Microwave Dave, Huntsville legend. So I've just got a couple of bands that I'm listening to because that's the kind of thing I want to bring in. One is Sturgill Simpson, and he lives just down the road from here.
Really?
Yeah, he just lives across the border in Tennessee.
He's very unique. He's great.
Yes, unique is a good word for
Thrills
it.
All the Way Down. That's a crazy song.
And a band called the Old 97s out of Louisiana. You've heard of them?
Oh, yeah.
You were the first person I know that has heard of them. So that's kind of the stylistic that I'm just trying to keep in my head at the moment. But I'm very...
So Americana is kind of your thing?
Yep.
Cool.
For now, I have very altruistic tastes otherwise. So, what else you want to talk about? Too bad, because there's not a lot of time left.
Good. The pressure of it all.
So, but thank you, Dave, for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yes.
A lot of fun.
What did you think about the TV show?
It's cool. It's very cool.
Yeah. You're going to come back?
I'd love to.
Oh, we would love to have you back.
Have a Paul McCartney musical.
Yep.
And I'll come talk about that.
Okay.
Why is there not a Beatles musical?
There was.
There was.
Beatlemania.
Oh, I thought that was like a retro hits kind of thing.
No, it was a show.
Yeah.
Oh, huh.
Marshall Crenshaw was the first John Lennon, I think, in Beatlemania.
So, we had Rain, the Beatles experience here a couple of years ago.
That's a good show.
It's the best Beatles tribute there is. But they were in full Beatles character, warming up to Sweet Home Alabama.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
How excited was I when I came back down from that?
Oh, yeah.
I think I just short-circuited a little when you said that. I was like, wait, does not compute.
So thanks everyone for watching, and we will see you next week.